They stayed away from what made Call of Duty.
Like, we're literally just doing remakes at this point.
They started getting lazy with the guns and the maps. Today, we're going to be discussing what we think is the reason Call of Duty basically, I guess I wouldn't say died.
Why it feels like it's on a down world.
I'll start with my first point I got here. I think what really started it was they stayed away from what made Call of Duty Call of Duty. With Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 2, they introduced like jetpacks and like the exo movements and all this, and they stuck around too long. Nobody really wanted the future stuff at all. I don't know who asked for it, who wanted it. I don't think anybody was really happy with it. And then they took too long to get out of the future. They didn't realize it until too late. I mean, you figure there was what? There was Black Ops 2, Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, which I'm not shitting on Black Ops 3, but multiplayer was kind of meh, and zombies was the only saving grace, and there was no campaign. So
I think 2014 to 2019 was
yeah, like somewhere around that.
5, 6 years.
It took them too long to realize that people didn't want this. I feel like once they saw that like Advanced Warfare kind of flopped and then Infinite Warfare flopped, they would have immediately cut ties, but they didn't.
Yeah.
And the shame of it is that, like Black Ops 2, it was a good game, but the future aspect kind of ruined it. They literally could have made Black Ops 2 anything else. The zombies really was the only saving grace for it, in my opinion. Multiplayer was annoying as hell, and honestly, the campaign was basically like a money grab. They saw an opportunity to bring back Woods and Mason, and they did.
I didn't have that on my list because I don't think that I do disagree on the point that it killed COD or led to its downfall, but I do agree with the point that it stuck around too long. I think it was good to try, but kind of going off what you said with Call of Duty, going away from its roots, it's too childlike now. And I feel like that started with Fortnite coming out with like emotes and colorful skins, and this is like in 2018 because like you go back to Black Ops 3, you really didn't have like crazy like colorful skins, but now you play the game, modern game, you're supposed to be in, let's just say for example, World War II, and you have like a clown skin, like
Yeah.
it's too childlike. The emotes are too stupid. Like, I don't know if the gritty is in the game, but I'm sure it is. And it's just like, I know like they're trying to appeal to that mass audience, but it just feels so different than like if you go back to World at War or Black Ops 1 or Modern Warfare 2. It's just completely different. And it's going to be kind of interesting because I'm sure everyone has a different point where Call of Duty started to go downwards. Like, I'm sure some people are saying like peak Call of Duty is like Advanced Warfare. I'm sure there's someone out there saying that.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it started like in 2010. It started going downhill, like truly. Like I feel like there was only like a 3 year peak. And I feel like it really just got worse and worse over time with a few flashes. But yeah, too childlike. It got too childlike, too emoty, too, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely can see that. So let's see. So I think they started getting lazy with the guns and the maps. This is again totally preference, but Black Ops 1 is a prime example. There were what, 13 assault rifles or whatever it was. It was some ridiculous amount. 4 LMGs, 4 shotguns, like 10 SMGs, 4 snipers. Like we were gifted with all this, you know what I mean? And then they used to be so different. Now it's like you get what, 4 or 5 assault rifles, a couple SMGs. The amount and the quality of the weapons has greatly diminished by far. Now, granted, in Modern Warfare 2, they put a lot of guns in there, and it's pretty cool. I'll admit, I like that. But it's one of the first games to do that in the last probably maybe 10 years, give or take. I just feel like the amount of variety and the amount of actual like care put into it was not there. And then to add on to that with the maps just aren't that cool anymore. Like, yeah, they all kind of follow that same 3-lane concept, and they always have. But lately, it's like it feels like a 3-lane map. Back in the day, it didn't feel like it. It just kind of felt like you were going wherever you were going. Look at like WMD on Black Ops 1. It was a 3-lane map, but it didn't feel like it because there was so much going on that you didn't have to follow that same 3-lane pattern. So I feel like they've just gotten kind of lazy with the way they designed this shit.
I hear you. I think a big reason why it's gotten lazy is because microtransactions are the main focus now. There's no real reward for making anything good because there's a million microtransactions. And it all started with like the loot box culture, if I can speak in English. back in, I think I want to say Advanced Warfare is when it all started going downhill with the loot boxes, and then it just continued. It was Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, I mean, so on and so on. Microtransactions have just loot boxes in general are just annoying as hell, you know, just, I don't know, paying even for just cosmetics and stuff like that. You also have like the battle pass culture going in there with, you know, a battle pass now, completely
Yeah.
switching things up. It's just really weird now. And yeah, I feel like Call of Duty was at its best before microtransactions became a thing in culture.
Definitely. That's actually one point I didn't touch on in my last one. You know, like I grouped this in with that, but they also, this is literally what I wrote down. They also make everything DLC or buy with COD points. So yeah, I didn't touch on that, but it's exactly like you said. You know, it's too much. Campaigns, they used to be really entertaining. You know, you think back, Modern Warfare campaign, World at War campaign, Modern Warfare 2 campaign, Black Ops 1 campaign, MW3 campaign. That is like the best stretch of campaigns that we've probably ever gotten. They were all fantastic. And then, you know, you've gotten to the point where, what was it? World War II was like the only one that actually had a good campaign. You know, it was like the only one I actually cared about. Black Ops 3 didn't even have a campaign.
Yeah.
That showed how little they value that mode, you know? Was it Black Ops 3 or was it Black Ops 4?
It was Black Ops 4.
Black Ops 4, yeah. Yeah, they literally just reskinned Black Ops 3. And even then, Black Ops 3's campaign was not that good. I think I played a couple missions and realized I hated it. And then, you know, like, Infinity Ward has been shit lately up until they basically started redoing Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. They had to go back to what worked because they could not make their other styles work.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think another point that I can go off of, the lack of innovation. Like, we're literally just doing remakes at this point. Like, we're literally in a chain of remakes of Modern Warfare. And yeah, it's a little different and whatnot, but it still
It's
is.
pretty much the same.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. And there's no willingness to even try doing something different now. Now you also have Black Ops Cold War. Like, it's not a remake, but
It's pretty much a remake.
it's leaning so hard back to the same content, you know? And what are we doing? Like, I know that jetpacks failed and the future failed, but like, I'm sure there's other things we can do, even if we have to make up some war that happened in 67. Fucking make up
Yeah.
a war. Like, I don't care. Just don't do the same thing every freaking 3 years. Like, where is, like, I don't know. It just became all the same. Like, literally, you can take a screenshot of any Call of Duty and compare it to another Call of Duty, and it just looks the same. Like, despite graphics, it all feels the same. It all feels the same. I don't know. There's just no innovation. There's no
No, I
desire
gotcha.
to innovate.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. This one's a bit of a longer point for me. You figure when zombies blew up, they tried so hard to keep one-upping themselves on it. You know, it was pretty good. You know, it kept getting better and better. And then really, zombies wasn't the main thing that did it. I'm not saying zombies was like the downfall of Call of Duty, but I'm saying like the fact they kept trying to make something better than zombies, or that they kept trying to add on to zombies to make it more over the top. You know, it just got to the point where it was too much. You know, like at the end of Black Ops 1, you blow up the Earth. Where do you go from there? You know, the first thing that they throw at us after we blow up the Earth in the previous game, and we're waiting to see what happens, we ride a bus around a town that's on fire. That's real great. That's exactly what I wanted to do right after I blew up the Earth, with people that aren't even involved in that story originally.
Yeah.
And then the next map, now we're in a high rise in China again. That has nothing to do with what we're actually doing. What the hell? And then it was so bad that they got the multiplayer team to make the next zombies map, which was Mob of the Dead. Fantastic map, you know. It had nothing to do with the story. Again, you know, it's just made a good map. Buried was good, but again, didn't really have anything to do with what happened. And it was a great map. It just had a really shitty Easter egg. And I'm touching on this a little bit for a reason. And then Origins came out, and Origins was fucking phenomenal. Fantastic map, and it led to basically the whole zombies timeline getting fixed. And this is where zombies really picks up with like Black Ops 3 coming out and all this. But like, you know, you had Extinction. I thought it was a phenomenal game mode. I actually did really like it, but they didn't stick with it because nobody else really liked it. So now they nixed this game mode, and then they had Spec Ops at one point, and they nixed that game mode, and then they just kept introducing these game modes, and then they had Infinite Warfare zombies, which was shit. They had Advanced Warfare zombies, which was shit. They just kept introducing these new ideas, and none of them stuck, so they just kept trying new stuff to hope that they could one-up zombies. And you see what happened in like Black Ops 4. They really did try to go over the top with it, and look what happened. It kind of shit on the original content. They took out the perks, and then they realized they fucked up. So when they brought in Cold War Zombies, they brought the perks back. But Cold War Zombies wasn't really anything great. It was, again, way too over the top for no reason. Like, my whole point with this, and it was a long point, and I kind of walked around a lot. They really went so far above and beyond trying to make this third game mode better than what they already had, when they really should have just kind of stuck with what was working.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that point. I think zombies also went downhill over time slowly because they kept trying to one up themselves, and it's just the Dragon Ball Z effect where you have one thing and then you move up to the next powerful thing, and then it has to be more powerful than the last thing. It's just a paradox that just never stops.
Yeah.
I think this is the biggest thing for me. The releasing every year. Stop releasing every year. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't make a good thing every year. Let a game live for 3 years. Mortal Kombat has worked for like 3 decades at this point, and they were releasing every year, but then they stopped. And
Because
now
they realized.
the franchise has so much more life in it, and every time there's a release it feels big and gigantic. Maybe it doesn't make as much money as Call of Duty, but it's gonna live longer than Call of Duty, that's for
For
sure.
sure. Absolutely. That was actually my other point, too.
It's burnt out, it's run its course dry. Like if we
Yep.
we stop trying to include like a third studio, if maybe
I
we
was
do.
literally just about to say that. You know, they included this third studio to give themselves more time. I don't think anybody's going to complain if a Call of Duty game doesn't release for a year, as long as the quality is good.
It's like a game comes out and then it's like, we're moving on to the next one. Doesn't matter what the hell you do, we're just gonna
No.
move on to the next one. So it's like nothing even matters. Nothing has ever mattered. Like it's
No,
like,
and then they expect you to, stick with the game until they bring out the new one. Like, if you're just going to kill this game, why am I going to stick with it? In a year it's dead anyway. It's
like
not like back in the day
yeah.
where literally people were playing, Modern Warfare 2 and World at War and Black Ops 1 and MW3 for years after they came out. I remember on console, we would go back and play Black Ops 1 and, like, I don't know, what was it? Probably like 2014. 2015, we would go back and we'd still play multiplayer and zombies and stuff, and there were still people playing.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, the next Call of Duty comes out and the last one is dead. Like, it just doesn't work.
Sorry to steal your last point there.
Oh, dude, it was the same point I had. It worked perfect.
But yeah, I think that really, like, I feel like personally, the downfall, I think it started all the way back in 2011, and then it just continuously got worse with little flashes of hope in there, but nothing ever came of it. And I think they just been running a treadmill until it's dry. But yeah,
Right.
we'll see you guys in the next one.
Let us know if you agree, disagree, why you think Call of Duty is going downhill, or